Today on Real Life and Real Estate, 'tis the season to get your 2025 business plan ready. Well, hey there. Welcome to Real Life and Real Estate. I'm Mark Peebles here to help you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. And today we are talking about something that I feel is very important, and that is business planning. Now, business planning, a lot of times as we get into this, we only think about business. But let me tell you, if you want to live your best life, achieve ultimate success, your business planning is really revolving around what the next year of your life is going to look like. I'm going to give you a very effective strategy today. In fact, we're going to do this in two parts. Today, I want to talk about just a basic structure for business planning. And then next week, I want to get into some of the actions in your business that you could be taking to grow your business next year that will help you not just reach business goals, but help you also reach your personal goals. And so we're gonna step right into this today. Before we do, though, I do want to remind you that this show is being brought to you by Advantage Home Warranty, my favorite home warranty in the business. You know, I carry an Advantage Home Warranty on my own home. And basically, I get my money's worth every single year. Do you know how nice it is when you've got a plumbing leak, or we had an air conditioning leak earlier this year? Our upstairs air conditioning, it leaked. It started flooding our ceilings. Do you know how nice it was to be able to just call someone? Didn't cost me any extra than my monthly payment that I already pay. They came in, they got it fixed. We were back up and running within a couple of hours. We still needed to do some drying out and such, but the problem got fixed before we got overwhelmed by it. And that's what Advantage Home Warranty does. They own plumbing and HVAC company. The service is excellent. And let me also tell you that they're a local family-owned company here in Ohio. So if you're in Ohio, I definitely encourage you to look at Advantage Home Warranty. AdvantageHW.com is where you get more information. Okay, so Natalie, are you ready for this? Are you ready to business plan?
Yes.
Yes. She didn't know I was going to throw her on
I
camera,
didn't.
but I did.
I was taking notes.
I know.
So
She is good. You're taking notes. Actually, Natalie's working on your real estate license, right?
am.
So you're going to be an agent one of these days.
It's wild times.
And if you hang around me more than a couple of days, you know that I'm not all business, that I want you to be successful as successful personally as you will be in business. And the two are very tied together.
They are.
But your personal success is more important.
It's true. But if you don't have personal success, you won't have business success.
That's right.
Really, ultimately.
That's right.
So
I
think it's all intertwined.
It is all intertwined. So we're going to talk about that. So join us this week and then next week.
Yeah.
Come back, because next week I'm going to talk about some of the actions that you could be putting into your business plan, business-wise, that will help you reach your personal goals as well. So first off here, let's start with how do we build a business plan? All right. So the first thing I want to say is that when you're building your 2025 plan, it starts now. Really, this is not something where you say by the end of 2025, this is what I want my life to look like. You're going to build your business plan now. It's October after all. You're going to build the business plan now. You're going to implement and start taking action now. Don't wait until 2025. I know the holidays are coming. I know things are happening, but the model that I'm going to teach you is something that you can effectively implement here before we get to the end of the year. And so I say, how do you build it? Well, just get in your mind, get into the mindset. I talk mindsets all the time. In fact, on our podcast and on YouTube, you can get Monday mindsets, but you need to be in a now mindset. Okay. And so let's do a now mindset. Oh, I thought you were over there going, oh, I think you need to talk about a now mindset.
You got me again. I was
yawning. She was yawning. I'm boring Natalie today.
I'm not bored.
No, she's not.
This is very exciting.
This is very exciting.
I love this kind of stuff. It just hit me for a second. So I'm
okay,
here.
Good. It's okay.
I'm here.
Yesterday I yawned in a meeting and I apologized. And Lisa said, Lisa's one of our leadership, or she's leadership in our company, and she said it is kind of involuntary. So it's okay.
Yeah, you can't
it's okay.
help it.
I was just messing with her.
Stretch or something. You're fine.
That's okay. And I'm hoping that our audience is okay with having a little fun because
Because if they're not, then they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be
I'm just
listening.
kidding.
Okay. All right. So we're starting now. And here's what we're going to do to build out the business plan. Before you can build anything, you have to have vision, right? You have to know, where am I going? And so the tool that I like to use and what I like to talk about is let's just dream big and think big, okay, in terms of goals for next year. So what I want you to do is I want you to write on a piece of paper. I want you to write, what are my goals going to be for 2025 spiritually? What are my goals going to be in my health, my marriage, my family, my finances? What are my mental health goals, my educational goals? What are my goals when it comes to my rest and retreat? Okay, so these are goals. These are things like 1 year from now, what would I like my spiritual life to look like? 1 year from now, how do I want my health to be different? Like for me, 1 year from now, I would like to be about 30 pounds lighter than I am right now. This year, I've had some success. I'm down about a little over 20 pounds from where I started the year. So I'm moving in the right direction. I'd like to take off another 30, right? But the thing is that in order to get there, you got to put a plan to it. I want you to look at all of these areas of your life: spiritual, health, marriage, family, finances, your mental health, education, and rest and retreat, and say, what do I want those areas of my life to look like 1 year from now? Now, the next step to this is you need to pick a big one. Like if you're having some health issues right now, and you know that 1 year from now, it's only going to look worse, and you really need to spend some time and focus in on your health, then that needs to be the one that you really zero in on, okay? And the one that you spend the most time focusing on. Or maybe you're having struggles in a marriage relationship or a family issue, and you know that your marriage relationship, your family relationship needs more attention over this next year, right? So maybe that becomes the big goal for the year. There's a term out there called your WIG, your wildly important goal. So you're going to pick one and make that your wildly important goal. And I just want you to take some notes, ponder on it a little bit, and say, okay, what would it look like in my life if my marriage were the way that I wanted it to be 1 year from now? If my finances were the way that I wanted them to be 1 year from now, okay? So we're going to start by looking at those areas. Now, the next thing, after you've zeroed in on what the big one is going to be, okay, what your wildly important goal is going to be, is we're going to get into your dreams. Now, these are going to be a little bit different. Some of them are going to align with goals or with your wildly important goal, but I want you to dream a little bit. What is something that you have wanted to do, something that you have wanted to accomplish, something that is important to you, that would be an amazing thing for you to accomplish over the next year? That would be a dream that you would call a dream of yours. Dreams, I believe, they're a form of vision, and they bring us to life. Okay, a few years ago, and I'm not going to give away my whole story, but a few years ago, I went to the Grand Canyon with my son. I wanted to see it from the bottom, and he and I backpacked to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. That was a dream for me to take my son on that trip, and an amazing trip it was. So what are your dreams? Now, I use what I like to call the fields of dreaming. This is something that I adapted from a book called The Dream Manager by Matthew Kelly. I highly recommend it. But the list is basically what are your dreams right now physically? You maybe have material dreams, something that you want in your character. You have a dream, something psychological, intellectual, spiritual. You've got legacy dreams, relational dreams, financial dreams, emotional dreams, professional dreams, adventure dreams, creative dreams. Like maybe you want to write a book. It's a dream of mine to write a book. I actually do want to write a book. That is one of my dreams, is to write a book on, helping agents build their best, live their best lives and achieve ultimate success. So what are your dreams? Maybe you have a dream that you want to live in financial freedom, that you want to be debt-free a year from now. Or maybe you have a dream like I do, where I wanted to go to the Grand Canyon and see it from the bottom with my son. That is a legacy dream. That's an adventure dream. It's a dream that had such an impact relationally for me and my son Tommy. And so, what are the areas of your life that you're dreaming in? So here's what I want you to do. You got your big, wildly important goal, and that wildly important goal is maybe that you need to pay off $50,000 in debt over the next year. Okay, and then what's your dream? Your dream might be to take that big vacation. Maybe you have a dream to take your spouse on a European cruise. Maybe you have a dream to go and see a part of the world that you've never seen before. Maybe you have a dream to pay cash for your kids' college next year. So whatever the case is, you want to have a dream that you're going to tie to. So you've got this big goal, something that needs to be different in my life, and then a dream, something that would just totally bring life to my spirit, and the things that drain me. If I'm focusing on this dream and I'm moving ever closer to this dream, it's going to bring life to me. And so these are the two things that I want you to write down: is that wildly important goal and your biggest dream. Now, what needs to happen to get there? So the next step of this is you're going to take a few minutes and say, okay, if I'm going to be able to take this trip in October of next year, what would need to happen between now and then? Or if I'm going to be debt-free by next year, what would need to happen between now and then? If I am going to lose another 30 pounds by next year, what needs to happen between now and then? What I want you to do is think about these things and kind of write down a list of, I would need to do this, I would need to do this, I would need to do this. So if I'm talking about losing weight, well, then I would need to be exercising. I would need to be changing my diet. Especially going into the holidays here, where I tend to really blow it. I really need to put a plan in place to help me stay on track during this time. And so with all of that said, you want to make a list of the things that would need to happen in order for you to hit your goal 1 year from now. Now, let me back up for 1 second before I go to this next part and say this. The vast majority of business plans fail, right? I didn't want to say that up front, because if I said that up front, it's just discouraging, and you think, well, then what's the point in business planning? But the reality is that in my lifetime, I've put together more business plans than I can count, okay? For various businesses, for my real estate business. I mean, for years, I put together a business plan for my real estate business that went absolutely nowhere, okay? And so if you're going to be successful in it, you can't just put it on paper and have it be a year out and then take the whole business plan and put it on a shelf. You might as well write your whole business plan, print it out, then crumble it all up and throw it right in the trash, because that's essentially what most people do when they write a business plan. I want you to have a strategy that helps you to attain your goals, your wildly important goal, to attain a big dream over this next year. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to break it down to some smaller goals that are going to get us there to the big dream. Okay, so you've made this list of all the things that would need to happen over the next year. Now that you've made the list on the things that would need to happen over the next year for the wildly important goal to happen, for the big dream to happen, next thing I want you to do is I want you to say, okay, in my business, what would need to happen? Maybe you already wrote some of those things down in the first list, but in my business, what would need to happen in order for me to reach that wildly important goal, to reach that dream that I have over the next year? Okay, so in my business, I would need to sell 3 more houses at an average of $260,000 over the next year. I would need to, I would need to make an extra $100,000 over the next year. Here's the beautiful thing. If you can tie it to something in your business like this, then we can go backwards and figure out what activities you're going to need to do, which is the next show. So what activities need to happen in order for you to reach this dream, reach this goal? So for some of you, if you want to take that European cruise next year, going back to that example, in your business, You need to generate an extra $25,000 in revenue next year, okay? Which the beautiful thing about that for most of us is that's probably like 2 to 4 or 5 extra sales. How can you do that in your business, okay? But you need to establish what the business goals need to be that are going to help you to get to your wildly important goal and the big dream that you're chasing after for next year. Ultimately, what I want you to do is looking at all of these things and picking out the most important in terms of the goal, the dream, and anything else that you're going after over the next year. You need to break it down into 3 goals. Now, I don't want you to come up with 3 goals that are going to be 1-year long goals. I want you to start now and say, okay, if I'm going to be there 1 year from now, what do I need to do over the next 12 weeks, 1 quarter of the year? What do I need to do in order to begin moving towards success? One of the things I've always had a problem with is I want immediate results. And so, it's hard to tell sometimes as I sit here, I'm 6'7", close to 300 pounds. I'm a big dude, okay? Why are you shaking your head so vigorously, Natalie? Come on.
Because you're a solid 6'7".
Yeah, I am. I'm 6'7". I'm a big guy. And so
tall.
It's so funny because people see me in videos or, they see my picture. They meet me in person. They're like, wow, you're big, right?
How many times? You're like ducking under the door frames.
I don't have to. They're 6'8". I don't have to duck under door frames, but it's
very
close.
Confident.
It's close.
Because if I was that close, I would probably duck a little bit.
You know how many
Just
times?
in case.
You know how many times in my career I've hit my head in historical homes?
Oh,
or
sure.
In college, Elizabeth and I lived in England, and I had some come to Jesus meetings when I hit my head. One day we were walking out of church in this old historical building, and I hit my head so hard I fell to my knees. And people were probably like, "Oh, he's just what a sweet moment. He's fallen into prayer on his knees." No, I actually just about knocked myself out.
Died.
Yeah, right. So, okay,
Jeez.
let's get back to it. So I am a big guy. And I think I want this. I want immediate gratification. That's our culture. We all want immediate gratification. We don't want to do the slow work or the slow and steady work. Slow and steady wins the race. We hate slow and steady. We just want to get to the darn line already. Come on, But my challenge to you is that business planning for 2025 starts today. And over the next 12 weeks, what needs to start happening? I want you to put 3 goals down on the paper, and I want you to tie it to the dream. Okay, so if I'm going to be going on another hike with my son next summer, then that needs to start today. What do I need to be doing in the gym right now? Right, so maybe I'm going to put that goal over the next 12 weeks. How much weight can I feasibly lose? Right, so if I lose at a healthy rate of 1 to 2 pounds a week, let's just say I want to lose 12 pounds over the next 12 weeks. That's 1 pound a week. That is a very feasible place to be in terms of getting my health under control. And do you know, like if I lose 12 pounds a week this quarter, and then I do that again next quarter, wow, I'm almost there. I'm at 24 pounds. I only have to lose 6 more pounds to reach that extra 30-pound weight that I wanted to lose for the next year, right? And then I would go into a maintenance plan. But here's the thing. It needs to start now. Now, some of you might be saying, well, with the holidays coming, like we're going to be spending more money. It's going to be hard to generate more business. Yeah, well, I'll tell you the reason that most agents go into the next year and they get super excited and they rush to do business, and then they get really frustrated because January and February are so darn slow. Like no business. That's because you didn't do anything at the end of the year. You let the holidays, quote, get in the way. You let, you got lazy at the end of the year. It started to get cloudy every day and you didn't want to go into work. But here's the thing. If you will start now on this, even if you modify what your goals will be, but for now versus what they're going to be January 1, and you do a little bit of a relaxed goal setting that, I'm not going to be as intense. I know that I'm going to be eating more around Christmas time. That's why I'm only going to try to lose an average of 1 pound a week over the next 12 weeks. Okay. That is going to be, my goal. I'll relax that goal a little bit where I know the next quarter I could probably lose 2 pounds a week, right? So think you can relax them a little bit, but you need to have 3 goals down tied to the wildly important goal or your big dream or just something in business that you want to accomplish over the next year. 3 goals need to go down on paper. Now, why 3? I find that we can manage 3 goals at a time, and then we can calendar the activities of those 3 goals at a time. When you say, well, I've got 76 goals for next year, guess what? You're probably not going to get any of them. It's just like going into Cheesecake Factory where they have 74 pages of menu items and it takes you an hour to decide because of paralysis of choice. It's the same way with goals. There's like a paralysis when it comes to goals because you have too many. But if you focus on 3, here's what I find. When I just focus on 3 goals and I'm laser beam focused on them, then I actually accomplish way more than I would think I ever could. Okay. And so it actually spills over into every other aspect of my life. I become more disciplined in other aspects of my life because I'm so laser beam focused in on these 3 goals. So pick your 3 goals. Then here's what I want you to do. When you have a goal, so I'm going to lose 12 pounds over the next 12 weeks, even including through the holidays. What would I need to do to lose 12 pounds? Well, I need to be in the gym 4 days a week. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do what is already on my calendar, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, okay, every Monday morning I'm going to the YMCA to meet John Hennon every Monday morning. John Hennon is our chief stewardship officer with Navex Realty, my business partner. We meet at the gym 3 to 4 days every single week. It needs to be 4 days going into the holiday, but we do meet 3 to 4 days at the gym, and it's in my calendar. So it's an appointment. I have to be there for that appointment. What other appointments need to be on your calendar? So if you say, well, I need to, I start the first quarter of every year incredibly slow. Well, guess what? You can change that. And the way that you change that is you put a goal in to generate, an extra $2 million in, volume by the first of the year, or $2 million worth of solid convertible leads by the first of the year. Well, how are you going to do that? So you might schedule call time. You might say, I'm going to do a handwritten note to every one of my past clients over this holiday season with my business card and asking them to remember me for their friends, family, and work colleagues, whatever the case is, thanking them for their business through the year. I'm going to send out text messages to all of my past clients and just tell them that I'm thinking about them and wish them a happy holiday season and make those touches and let that lead into conversations where you can ask for business, right? So you can continue to build the relationships through this holiday season. This is a great time of year to build business relationships with people because there's a reason to reach out to them. Okay, but here's the thing. You're not just going to send those text messages randomly. You need to systematize it. How do you systematize it? You put it on your calendar. This is the specific time. 1 hour a day, because I'm busy during the holiday season, sometimes 2 hours a day I'll have, where I'm just going to sit, I'm going to either write handwritten notes, I'm going to send text messages, or I'm going to call a few people, all right? But it goes on your calendar, and you're tracking it. So then, now that you have your goals, you've got the actions that you're going to take that are actually on your calendar, what happens next? Well, you measure it. Okay, you take those 3 goals, you take the actions on your calendar, and you create a scorecard that every single week, as you go through, you make your calls, your texts, you keep those appointments, you go to the gym, you're doing the extra work that you've committed to and put into your calendar. Now you cross it off on a scorecard to show that you've actually done that. Your goal is to hit 80% of what you calendar. You want to hit 80% of the items that you calendar in terms of success rate. If you do that, how much further ahead are you going to be, going in to the first quarter of next year? Let me tell you, you'll be way further ahead than you could ever imagine and than you've ever been before. But here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to start this business planning process, go through all of these steps that I just talked about, identifying a wildly important goal for next year, or a dream for next year that you want to accomplish, and then setting some goals around those things, and then take the whole plan and just put it on a shelf and say, well, I did my business planning for next year. And then you get all the way around to October of next year and you say, I haven't even touched that business plan. It was pointless, right? And that's what we all do. We do a bunch of pointless planning with no action to it. This plan, if you put it into action, if you actually start calendaring the activities like I'm talking about, you will have amazing success. I promise that. So, my challenge to you today is you're going to build the business plan. You're going to start now. Okay? You're not going to wait until the first of next year. So you're going to start now. You're going to identify a wildly important goal and or a big dream that you want to accomplish in the next year. You're going to pick 3 goals around that if you do these, it's going to help you reach that big, wildly important goal. It's going to help you to reach your dreams. And then you're going to, around those 3 goals, put specific actions to each goal that will go into your calendar. Do these things, and you're going to have the most amazing 2025 that you can imagine, hitting the wildly important goal and that big dream that you have. And you're, at the end of the year, going to say that you truly have been living your best life and achieving ultimate success. Next week, we go into more. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.